My name is DK the Punisher. I'm a producer, songwriter from Baltimore, Maryland. Man, I've been producing for about 15 years now, since 2004. I make a ton of tracks. Sometimes it's in sessions with artists. Most of the time it's really just at the crib, by myself, just kind of experimenting with sounds. Just because it's not on somebody's album doesn't mean it has less value, especially in my eyes. Greetings, what's good? This track right here came from the time period when I was working with J-Rock on his album. I was back and forth to LA a lot, working with my boy Sir on his debut album. And I was just in the mix with the TDE projects that were going on. So I kept that in mind. Like whenever I was working, I had just been listening to what he was working on, what he was cooking, and kind of just catching the vibe, and he liked it a lot. This is one of the ones that didn't make the cut. That happens a lot in this world of pitching songs and tracks to artists. A lot of things don't make the cut, especially when an artist is very particular about what they're doing and their standard is high. The song that J-Rock did to this beat was it was crazy. It was him and my boy Sir. I remember hearing it in the studio, very loud, and it was a proud moment. I get it. I understand that process. A lot of very good songs don't make it on albums. That's not so much to do with the merit of the song. It just might be what they're trying to accomplish with the project at the time. Through the years, I've learned to not be so emotionally attached to songs. Started with this little WAV thing. I played around with these chords and kind of ran it through some filters, had this little sound. I want to say I played the Rhodes next. Drums came next. More keys. I'm still shopping it around. It's gonna find a home, for sure. I'm not even tripping about that. This one right here is called Eddie. Track names to me, they come from the most random places. I believe I was watching a Eddie Murphy special in the background or something. I think I made this at my mom's crib back in 2016 when I was kind of back and forth between Baltimore and LA. Man, I was really in grind mode, just kind of trying to get tracks done whenever I could. I think I started this on a little MIDI keyboard in my bedroom, whatever, just playing around. I started with this synth bass line. Came up with these chords. Yo, it's crazy. This is bringing back memories. As soon as I played these chords, I was like, man, I would love to hear Beyonce on this. It's not something that you would expect from her. I would just love to hear her on something like this. I just continued to build kind of with that in the back of my mind. I wanted to make it bouncy and fun. So I think I might have came up with this hi-hat pattern before I laid anything. That 3/4 shuffle kind of feel. So once that was swagging right, once the pocket was nice, then it was time for the rest of the drums, kick, snare, the usuals. I can tell I was really feeling where this track was going just for the fact that I went in on the automation. I got the swells in there. Those are things that, your average listener probably wouldn't really notice, but it makes a big difference in the feel of the track. It feels like you're kind of going on a journey with the song. It's taking you on this emotional roller coaster. I picked up the thing with the swells and all that from listening to EDM. They have a lot of bills and drops, and those are the finishing touches to make the track feel complete. Sounds that people are used to hearing, familiar textures, but just a little bit left of center. That's kind of my feel in general. This track right here is called Again and Again. I don't remember why I named it that. I made this like about a year ago at the crib, yet again, right after I got back from the Miguel tour, DJing for my boy Sir. I was just happy to be home, back in my creative space, to be able to just like cook. Damn, okay. Yo, I really like this beat. I'm really big on like chords. When I come up with like a good progression, dog, it's like, yes, I nailed it. Know what I mean? So like, this is one of those ones I felt really good about. It just has a certain feel to it. I want Jay-Z on this joint, dog. Like, yeah. I feel like he would murder this. I'm a big Jay-Z fan, so I don't put that like on every track. I don't just say that. I really feel like he would body this. I started out with this horn part. It sounds like a sample. It's not. Basically, I played it out, bounced the audio out, and just kind of flipped it around. I'm big on like having like melodic things to kind of build chords around. It kind of gives me like something to go off of. This kind of set like a tone in my mind. What energy is just giving me, like, what should I play, you know? And I just started playing around with some chords, and like this just kind of felt right. Yeah, that just felt so like dark and grimy, and it's like I wanted the drums to be like slapping and like dirty. I started playing around with some drum breaks. Fairly simple, but effective in what I was going for. I found this little vocal sample to throw in there. I spent the most time probably just trying to get like the balance right. I don't really sample a lot. Big thing for me, trying to compete sonically with people that might use samples and stuff. It's like I need grit on the things that I like play myself, you know what I mean? If I just go straight, you know, just playing keys or whatever, or just, you know, playing these sounds that are kind of in here, it's gonna sound like too clean for like hip hop. People are used to things being dirty and like hard hitting and, you know, samples, and just a big part of like my process is trying to make things sound dirty rather than clean them up. That's what a lot of my time was spent on this track, just trying to make it feel dirty and grimy and kind of give you that feel off the break. I appreciate you guys, you know, taking a look into my process, hearing some of my favorite unreleased tracks. It's an honor to be able to share them with you. You want to find me, everything's at DK the Punisher, social media, all that. Thanks for tuning in.